All right, folks, we got some breaking news. Nate Landman, the incredibly fun to watch, fan favorite inside linebacker, has just been re-signed to a long-term contract extension. It's a 3-year, $22.5 million deal with $15.6 million in guarantees. Big shout out to the Rams for getting this thing done. This is awesome. I mean, he signed a $1.1 million 1-year prove it deal, today or, this year. And this is huge, guys. This is really huge. This is a great deal for both parties. Nate Landman is sticking with the Rams. I absolutely love this move. I mean, he has 91 tackles on the year. He has 4 forced fumbles. Say what you will, the Rams don't pay linebackers. They're not going to pay Nate Landman. I heard that over and over and over again. I just kept saying I felt like it was different with him. It just felt different, and I'm glad to get this thing done. He's the 14th overall rated linebacker in football right now, according to PFF. And in terms of run defense, he's in the top 10. He's been stellar, man. Nate Landman has been absolutely stellar. He's been exactly what you would want for the Rams. And I think the big thing is people always ask, why did the Falcons let this guy go? Because on top of trading away, that draft pick, giving the Rams their 2026 first round pick, which looks awful. And it was bad at the time too. On top of that, letting Nate Landman walk for $1.1 million looks stupid. But to defend the Falcons, Nate Landman's biggest issue came in coverage. And to be fair, this year, he's given up 119.9 target passer rating, but he has shown improvement. And so he's shown the improvement in coverage. He's been great in stopping the run. He's been used as a blitzer. He's been punching the ball out like he always does. And he's made a nice tandem with Omar Speights. So the Rams are keeping Landman around. It's a 3-year extension, I believe, on top of this year. So I don't believe it's going to kick in until next season. Now, I don't have the exact contract in front of me, but the way, you should look at it right now is this. Landman will be a free agent in 2029 at 31 years old. So if you've been holding out hope to get your 53 jersey, but you've been waiting because you didn't want to go out and get 53 and have him walk in free agency, well, now you can buy that Nate Landman jersey with some confidence. This is such a great move for the Rams. They deserve a lot of credit for this. Landman is more than just a player. He's a leader. You walk into a team on a veteran minimum and you become a captain. You waste no time. It says a lot about a player. 3 years, $22.5 million. I'm going to say it is a steal. I think Landman could have gotten more on the open market. I'm sure he's aware of that. But I think he wanted to stay right where he is. That's a 7.5 AAV. And I'm going to go over the contracts in the league right now and talk about it because I think it needs to be talked about. So for linebackers, right? Now, I'm not going to say he's better than Fred Warner or anything like that. But let's look at Zach Bond, for instance. Bond is a better athlete. Bond's better in coverage. But Zach Bond, very similarly to Nate Landman, signed a cheap deal and proved himself and got paid. How much did he get paid, you may ask? Well, Howie Roseman and the Eagles gave him a $17 million AAV contract. Now, it's got a lot of void money, but he ends up getting a 3-year, $51 million deal. Zach Bond does. Azeez Al-Shaair is getting paid $11.3 million. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, JOK, for the Browns, missed the entire season this year with a neck injury. Hopefully he'll be okay. He's getting $12.5 million AAV. Patrick Queen of the Steelers, $13.6. Jamie and Sherwood, you guys knew how much I wanted him. He stayed with the Jets, $15 million. Nick Bolton, Chiefs, another guy we wanted, $15 million for the Chiefs. Tremaine Edmonds, $18 million AAV with the Chicago Bears. Roquan Smith, there's actually kind of a funny point here. They didn't want to pay Roquan Smith, the Bears didn't, and then they gave Tremaine Edmonds nearly as much as Roquan Smith got paid in Baltimore, $20 million. But it doesn't even have to be like the top guys. Robert Spillane, $11 million. Terrell Bernard, $10.5. Dre Greenlaw for the Broncos. He's barely played for them. $10.5. Zaire Franklin, $10.4. Frankie Louvu, $10.3. TJ Edwards, $10 million. So the list keeps going, guys. You want to know where Nate Landman ranks right now in highest paid AAV for linebackers? Landman is tied with Pete Werner, Blake Cashman, Baron Browning. That's what we're talking about. He's getting paid less than the Lions are giving Derek Barnes. He's getting paid less than 36-year-old Demario Davis. He'll be 37 after the year. He's getting paid less than Jordan Brooks of Miami, Logan Wilson in Dallas. He's getting paid more than Caden Ellis in Atlanta, 7.1. But as much as Pete Werner, that is crazy. He absolutely could have gotten more in the market. But you know what? He also got a fair amount of guaranteed money. And I think that also came into it. So as far as guaranteed money goes, Landman got $15 million in guarantees. So I found that to be interesting. But at the same time, that's not anything crazy. That just puts him over Blake Cashman and Ernest Jones. Nate Landman's $15.6 million guaranteed is fewer than Derek Barnes and Jordan Brooks. It puts him at 19th in the league. So the Rams just found a stud at linebacker. And what did they pay him? And think about this. So the contract average, the AAV, he is tied for the 26th highest paid linebacker in football. And you know what that tells me? That tells me that the Rams actually intended to pay Ernest Jones. That's what that tells me. The money was allocated to pay Ernest Jones. 100%. They were willing to pay him. But unfortunately, Ernest Jones dealing with the injury, they didn't like how he looked in camp. They moved on from him. They also found Omar Speights. So say what you will, but that's what that is telling me. The Rams had already allocated money to pay Ernest Jones, and they knew when they signed this guy, they had a chance to bring him back long term. I love this because I'm a big fan of these guys who kind of get forgotten in this league, don't get talked about nearly enough, and they're just able to prove themselves. And when they do, they actually get the money. I love to see that because I think Nate Landman is a good football player. And I felt that way before he became a Ram. You saw that he was a dominant run defender. You saw that. He was so good in Atlanta as a run defender, but he was a liability in pass coverage, and so that's why Falcons fans wanted him gone. But it is hard to find players like this. He's 27. He's going to be, and by the way, he just turned 27 on the 19th. So he's going to be with the Rams until he's 31. This is a really, really good deal, and I will go as far as to say, while he could have gotten more in the open market, this is a smart dude. He's not chancing things. He knows that he has a secret sauce here, the perfect fit, everything looks good. Why risk it? Why risk it? This is the best place you've been in your career. This is the best you've looked in your career. He has a career high 4 forced fumbles. He had 3 last year and 3 the year prior. He loves it there. That's what that's telling me. He absolutely loves being a Ram. The Rams love having him. He's a captain, right? This is a huge signing for the Rams. Huge. They don't just dish out contracts like this anymore. And like I said, they don't pay linebackers. They didn't pay Corey Littleton. They didn't pay Ernest Jones. They paid Bobby. They paid Bobby Wagner for a year. That's it. A year. They don't pay linebackers. So, yeah. Shout out Landman. I think he's doing the smart thing. Shout out the Rams. I think they're doing the smart thing. Getting this extension done before you have to actually worry and there's pressure. This is great. But it also goes to show you that Landman, again, is smart. I might be taking less money, but at least I'm staying in a position that I know I can succeed in. I know I'm wanted. And I know that we are legit. And oh, by the way, again, $22.5 million over 3 years, $7.5 million average annual. That is going to make it easier for the Rams to bring back Quinton Lake. That's why this deal is such a big deal. If they just drop this and all of a sudden Landman is in the top 10 highest paid, that would put him at $11 million, which is what I expected. I'm not upset. I like the move. But I need people to understand how much of a freaking steal this is. Tied for the 26th highest paid player at the position. But he plays like a top 15 to top 10 linebacker. But he's getting paid 26 money. Think about that. That is a great move. And it allows them the flexibility to be ready to go out and get Quinton Lake back and get other guys back. They're free agents next year. It's going to be a little tough. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it. It's going to be a little tough. So, we shall see when it comes to next year. But, currently looking at 2026, according to Spotrac, because Over the Cap doesn't have it yet. 2026, and I don't even know if they have it updated. Doesn't look like they do here. But 2026 will add $7.5 million. The Rams are slated to have the 5th most cap space in the National Football League. They're going to have to sign guys. They still have free agents. But they're slated to have $95.7 million in cap space in 2026 before this Landman extension kicks in. $95.7 million. What I don't think people realize is that, and again, I understand they have to sign guys. They have guys they need to re-sign. But if you think about it, that's a lot of cap space. A lot of cap space. And who is a free agent for the Rams with $95.7 million? Although let's just call it like it is. It's probably around $88 million. So if you're around $88 million in cap space, right? Here are your free agents next year. Rob Havenstein, $11.5 million previous average annual. You're probably not going to give him that. Tutu Atwell, $10 million. You're probably not going to give him that, but who knows? Tyler Higbee, $8.5. Probably going to be half that if you bring him back. Cameron Curl, $4.5. He's going to be more than that. He's signed for cheap. He's a really good player. Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be more than $3 million, right? Then you have DJ Humphries is going to be more than $2.5 million, or probably he'll be around that. Roger McCreary, he's going to be expensive, more than $2.2 million. Quesenberry is probably going to be around the same. Akello Witherspoon's going to be more than 1.2. Then you have Troy Reader at 1.1. Laryl Murchison at 1.1. Durant is going to be more than $1 million. And then you have Keir Thomas, who's a restricted free agent. He'll be back. Quinton Lake, it's going to be a lot more than $948K. Quinton Lake is probably going to be in the $10 to $15 million range. But here's the thing, guys. I don't think people are talking about it nearly enough. The Rams have free agents, but the Rams have a lot of cap space. And they have guys they can afford to move on from. There is no doubt in my mind, I'm going to say this right now, after the deal that came through today, there's no doubt in my mind, if the Rams truly want Quinton Lake back, Quinton Lake is going to remain a Ram. He's going to sign a 4-year deal, probably worth up to $50 million. Maybe more. If you go back and you look, the job Quinton Lake does, it makes it a little difficult because he wears multiple hats. So you can't just look at him like he's everybody else. But in terms of comparable contracts, Quinton Lake would be 26 at signing, going to be 27. He'd be 27 when they sign a deal. So if he's going to be 27, that puts him around Jeremy Chin. When he was extended, he got an $8.1 million AAV. You had $12 million for Grant Delpit with the Browns. You had Javon Holland go over to the Giants for 3 years, $45.3 million. That's $15.1 million average annual. Jalen Petrie, 3 years, $39 million. So there you go. Like, this, to me, this is why this is such a big deal. It's such a big deal because Landman, now you're locked in. Let's talk about that. Let's just look at the whole thing, the multi-year, okay? Stafford technically should be locked in for next year, but they're going to go about that. We'll see what ends up happening. I can't imagine things are going to change. Stafford is likely going to be back as your starting quarterback next year. Quarterback's taken care of. Bennett's your backup. If you want to draft someone, fine. Garoppolo is probably not going to stick around, but who knows? Depending on what you pay him, who knows? Kyron Williams is locked in. Blake Corum you have until 2028. Jarquez Hunter you have until 2029. So running backs are good. If you choose to add somebody via the draft, whatever. But running backs are good. Wide receiver, they technically could just keep Devontae Adams. It's $28 million in 2026. That's a lot of money. But if you have the cap space, why even risk losing Devontae Adams? Tutu Atwell you technically could bring back because you have a lot of cap space at $88 million. Puka Nacua, you're probably going to have to extend him. That extension is going to be a lot. Same thing with Jared Verse. We'll get to that. So having that much cap space is going to help. Jordan Whittington's still under contract. Xavier Smith is an exclusive free agent, so you'll be able to bring him back. Konate Mumfield isn't a free agent until 2029. Wide receivers are good. You'll extend Puka at some point. Wide receivers are good. Tight ends. Parkinson's under contract next year. $9 million's a lot. I don't think he's going anywhere. I understand some people would say they're probably getting rid of him. I don't think so. Because I think this 13 personnel requires somebody like that. If they do get rid of him, then, I guess I could see them cutting him, but I think they could bring him back, and here's why. So they have an out after the season for Parkinson. So what that would do is it would save you money. So say you release him post June 1st, or let's say pre-June 1st. You'd save about $3 million. You would have $6 million in dead money. You could sign him back. I still don't know if they'll even do that. He has a roster bonus of $1.5 million on the that's due on the 5th day of 2026. So that's something to keep in mind. So we'll see, but I think they should keep Parkinson. He's clearly playing well in this offense now, and if they're going to use 13 personnel, he's a good fit. We'll see. But anyway, he'd be under contract. He's not a free agent until 2027, unless they do something. Ferguson's not a free agent until 2029. Davis Allen isn't a free agent until 2027, right? Higbee's a free agent. Do you bring him back? Do you not bring him back? I think you'd bring him back for half as much as he's getting paid now, but we'll see. So the point I'm making is, so far, guys, if you've been following along, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, locked in. They're ready to go. They have about the same guys, maybe some different turnover, whatever, but they're really good right now. Nope, Davis Allen is not a free agent. He is actually under contract another year. So then offensive line. Dotson's locked in at $17 million. Alaric, this is where it gets interesting. So Alaric isn't having his best season. Alaric has a potential out in the 2027 year, but not next year. Next year, he has an acceleration. So he goes from $7 million to $24 million next year. Are the Rams willing to do that? Can they get out of it? Technically, they can. So, I mean, it wouldn't be the lack, it would be painful, but they could, if they did a pre-June 1st trade, they would incur $10 million in dead money. They would save $14.8 million. If they released him post June 1st, then they would free up $6.8 million, but they would incur $18 million dead money. The only way I see them moving on from Alaric is if they trade him in the offseason. And I wouldn't be surprised if they did, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they didn't. Point being, Dotson's under contract, Alaric's under contract, Coleman Shelton, who's playing very well. He's playing very well. He does not get enough credit. He is playing very well this year. Coleman Shelton is under contract. Avila, you have another year of under contract, right? So your entire offensive line, Warren McClendon Jr., if you want to view him as your starting right tackle next year, he's under contract. You're starting off your entire offense. This is why I say, when people say Stafford's going to retire after the season, or, 49er fans are trying to act like the Rams, or they've come and they've gone, this is the last year. It's not the last year. It's not the last year. Everyone next year is going to be under contract. That is really important to the offense. Almost everyone's getting retained. So then you look at the defense. Jared Verse, under contract. Byron Young, under contract. You might have to sign him to an extension. He might want to be traded, hold out, all that. I don't know. But as it stands right now, he's under contract. Josiah Stewart, under contract until 2029. Nick Hampton, under contract. Keir Thomas, a restricted free agent. Edge defender room, they could add another guy. But guess what? Edge defenders are good. How about the interior defensive line? Poona Ford, under contract. Braden Fisk, under contract. Kobe Turner will probably want an extension, but he's under contract. Desjuan Johnson, under contract. Laryl Murchison's a free agent. That's it. Tyler Davis and Ty Hamilton, under contract. How about linebacker? Landman, locked in. Spates, locked in. Restricted free agent in 2027. Sean Dolak, locked in. Restricted free agent in 2028. Reader's a free agent. So then you look at corner. Darius Williams is technically under contract next year. They could move on from him. It's a lot of money. It's $8.6 million. But they could keep him. Durant is a free agent. They could also bring him back. They got a lot of money. Emmanuel Forbes, under contract. They could pick up the fifth-year option in 2027. Roger McCreary's a free agent. Akello's a free agent. Josh Wallace is under contract with an RFA tag in 2027. And then the safeties, Curl and Lake are free agents. Kinchins, Jalen McCullough, and Christopher Smith II are under contract. Joshua Carty's under contract. Harrison Mevis is an exclusive rights free agent. So however they wanted to play that, he would be back. Ethan Evans, under contract. Jake McQuaid, they'd have to sign. The point being, guys, and why this deal is such a big deal is because they have $88 million in cap space projected after this deal for Landman. And they can field a 22-man starting lineup on the offensive defensive side next year, even with all of their losses, if they weren't able to bring back everybody that's a free agent. So let's just say they don't. Their starting 11 would be Matthew Stafford. Let's just say everybody that's a free agent, there's no negotiating. Anyone who's under contract is a starter. Anyone who's not under contract has to be re-signed is not in the lineup. You're starting 22. So you're starting 11 on offense. Stafford, Kyron, Devontae, Puka. Then you have Parkinson, Ferguson. Your offensive line is exactly the same, except it's going to be Warren McClendon Jr. instead of Rob Havenstein, which it is currently right now. Then your defense. At edge, Jared Verse, Byron Young. Defensive line, Poona Ford, Braden Fisk, Kobe Turner. Linebacker, Nate Landman, Omar Spates. Cornerback, Emmanuel Forbes, Darius Williams. Safety, Cameron Kinchins, Jalen McCullough. That's the one. Safety gets a little tough. I think they should be trying to bring back both safeties, personally. But you see it. You see it, guys. The Rams are building something here. They know what they're doing. They know what they are doing. That's for damn sure. Next year, the breakdown, they have $52.7 million invested in quarterback. They have $15 million invested in running backs, $42.3 million invested in wide receivers, $14.5 million invested in tight ends, $65 million invested in the offensive line, $9 million invested in their edge defenders, $20 million invested in their interior defensive line, $10 million invested in their linebackers, $19 million invested in their corners, $11.9 million invested in their safeties, $1.4 million in their kicker, $1.1 million in their punter, and then long snapper. Of course, they wouldn't have one, so they'd have to figure that out. So, that is 2026. Say what you will, and like I said, people are going to say this and that, but don't listen to people who don't know what they're talking about. Do not listen to people who don't know what they're talking about. Because they'll tell you straight up, yeah, the Rams are done after this year. They're going to have to pay everybody. They are going to have to pay a lot of guys. I'm not saying they're not. But next year they can field the team with all the guys that are currently on the roster. And Nate Landman signed for less. No matter what anyone says, he signed for less, and it's going to allow the Rams to have some flexibility to kind of do whatever they want. So we'll see that. We'll see. We'll see how they use this money. We'll see what they want to do. I think it'd be cool to see them go after another wide receiver. I think it'd be cool to see them go after Jeremiah Love in the draft at running back. I think it'd be cool to see them go after a tackle, go after a safety. I know a lot of people like Caleb Downs. I do too. But one thing's for sure, they won the day. They lock in Nate Landman at age 27 for 3 years, $22.5 million. It's exactly the culture guy that you want. And I give the Rams a shitload of credit for this move. I give Landman a shitload of credit too. But anyway, wanted to hop on here, talk about it. Really appreciate you guys showing up, showing out. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and check out the sponsor of the video, Sleeper. If you haven't already, check it out. Link is in the description below. You can get a 100% bonus match up to $100 using my code JKB over on sleeper.com or Sleeper, the app. They also have a website too. It's great, but be sure to check out the app. Again, link is in the description below. Use JKB at sign up and get in on the $20 free entry. I'll throw some stuff at you. I'm taking more as far as yards when it comes to Colby Parkinson, Terrence Ferguson, and Devontae Adams. I think Devontae Adams, there's a chance he's going to go up against either Kindle Vildor, who's a veteran, who's played decently well, but he's not anything special, or he's going to go up against Benjamin Morrison, who's struggled, the rookie. So I think Adams is going to have a really good day. I think the tight ends are going to take advantage of the fact that Levante David is not the same Levante David in years past. He's struggling in coverage, and Servassier Dennis is getting absolutely decimated in coverage, giving up over 500 yards and over 300 yards after the catch. So I like Parkinson and I like Terrence Ferguson in this game. But yeah, get in on the action. Use the code JKB. And I'll see you guys next time. Actually, I'll see you guys tomorrow. How about that? Tomorrow night, Rams, Bucks. We'll be live after the game. And can't wait to see you guys. Actually, also, hold on. I just realized we have super chats. I'm not going to forget super chats. Never. So, Nico, appreciate the super sticker there. Unfortunately, it just says super sticker. Ace SI Calderon. Sorry if I butchered your name. Thank you for the 2. This is a massive signing. So happy for Landman. Totally agree with you there. I'm really happy for both parties. I think they nailed it. Deuce Falco, thank you for the 5. Nate Landman. All there is to say. And then, last but not least, Vic coming in with the 2. I think Q Lake is the next priority. I do too. I think it's going to get done. I think this tells you it's going to get done. This isn't anything that's going to break the bank. They got a lot of money. I know they have a lot of guys they need to sign. The Rams will figure it out, but I think Quinton Lake is here to stay. I do. I really believe that. I think you keep these guys in your organization. 2 leaders, 2 captains on the defense. I agree. I think they're both going to stay. But that's going to do it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed again. Like, subscribe, comment, check out today's sponsor, Sleeper, and I will see you guys tomorrow night. Later, folks.